on the 2026 polls. We tell you why it is important to manage the process. We might be quiet but focused. Will Democratic Party's major comeback overwhelm rivals? Will the DP roadmap end the unending party troubles?
Grappling with poor roads while billions are stuck on accounts. Wakiso local government on the spot, why are local governments not utilizing money allocated to them? Red Eyes outbreak in Kampala. City put on high alert as the outbreak threatens the already weak and recovering city healthcare system. Trying to avoid the old wine in new bottles. Politicians disagree on the timing and proposal to register a new political party. Could the process be worrying those interested in finding a new political home?
This is Nbs Live at 9 with Kanri Mugume and Samson Kasumba.
Jacket on, we're ready to start. It is the government that has confirmed an outbreak of conjunctivitis, also known as red eyes disease, in Kampala district and prison facilities. The surveillance reports show that Kampala alone has 954 cumulative cases, and they have been registered, while 798 is in the prison facilities. In a letter from the Ministry of Health, the disease is contagious and can spread from contact to contact.
This outbreak has been identified in several schools in Uganda's capital, Kampala, and 8 prison facilities with affected divisions of Nakawa and Rubaga within Kampala district. The Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Diana Atwine says they're establishing how big the problem is.
If you have red eyes, actually don't go to be with the rest, because you may not avoid touching, you know. But even if you find yourself with someone with red eyes, you can actually avoid red eyes by simply observing, washing your hands all the time. And you can be safe.
Samples from the suspected individuals have been under the crisis.
So far, we have not got the guideline yet, but for us, we have to wash their hands as our culture.
One case has been reported thus far in this school, and the patient sent back home. Conjunctivitis is an inflammation of the conjunctiva from infection or allergies, making the eyes red and swollen, and sometimes have a sticky discharge.
Now, the Director General of Health Services, Dr. Daniel Chabainza, says there have been seasons of red eyes in the area, viral in nature, self-limiting, but do not require much treatment. But what measures has the ministry put in place to safeguard the population?
It is likely, and we've had many years of where we have seasons of red eye spreading in the area. Usually those seasonal ones are viral in nature, and they are self-limiting, and they may not require much treatment and supportive care, which the health facility can advise. But also basic hygiene of keeping the hands clean, the eyes clean, and then you soothe them, and that will be enough to clear red eye. But the other one is to make sure you don't keep touching the eyes or rubbing them, because you can cause mechanical irritation to the eye as you try to scratch and itch them.
Now, my colleague Victoria Bagaya, who still has a very white, clean pair of eyes, has been on top of this story. Victoria, how practical are the guidelines that the Ministry of Health is putting out there?
Well, enforcement itself, it's a tough call for the ministry, given the experience of Ugandans and how they react to outbreaks.
And now the chairperson of the Democratic Party Electoral Commission, and that is Kennedy Mtenyo, has revealed that the party is set to hold its National Executive Committee, from which the party roadmap will be released. This as other political parties rally support as they register party members ahead of the 2026 polls. Does this give a ray of hope for reorganization in the party?
The Democratic Party for long has not been engaged in any party activities except bickering and infights from when the party president was appointed to serve in the interim cabinet and his secretary general voted into the East African Legislative Assembly. Now the party indicates that they're set to release their roadmap highlighting activities that the party is yet to undertake after a meeting of the top organ, National Executive Committee.
I've had a briefing from the Secretary General, who is away in Nairobi, and he has told me, one, we are putting out a roadmap for the entire process. We are working on renewing leadership.
Kennedy Mtenyo, the Party Electoral Commission chairman, says they have been undertaking registration of members who have expressed interest in different positions.
Election of the delegates from the constituencies and the districts And as I talk now, already a number of people have expressed interest to contest for various posts. We have them as chairman of the election team. We have already started receiving, and people are gearing up.
The process is to continue as the party hopes to front candidates to the highest office of presidency.
We are going to have a NEC meeting, and hopefully later this year we shall have a national delegates conference. And remember, the president of the party, Honorable Mao, said that the DP will participate in no elections after the president.
While many have been wondering why the party remains silent, he argues a number of activities are being worked on.
I've now put executives in a number of places. There is a difference between showing the world you are doing something and doing the actual thing.
The party has been through a lot since of course, entering into an agreement with the NRM. What we want to understand from our reporter, Shamim Nabakoza, finally some hope of reorganization in the party. Shamim.
It's quite unclear whether the Democratic Party has capacity to reorganize itself after efforts to reunite party members have often hit a dead end.
Now, lawmakers sitting on the Public Accounts Committee have queried the huge double entitlements of former leaders in terms of pensions accompanied with material benefits, which drains the national coffers. The legislators now want Parliament to review the law to avoid duplication and wastage of resources.
Officials from the Office of the President, led by the Accounting Officer, Yunus Kakande, appeared before the Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi-led Public Accounts Committee of 0.9 billion shillings with 39.2 billion shillings as classified expenditure. During the committee interactions, the lawmakers noted the duplication and wastage of resources extended to former leaders, which continues to drain national coffers. The former leaders are also entitled to housing allowances, medical care, security, house helpers, and new cars.
Could be entitled in the arrangement, but you decide whatever is higher is what you take. But you cannot earn from multiple out of a consolidated fund.
To meet the president, because he normally meets PAC committee. You need to bring this one to his attention, that how do we handle this one as
Early this year, Parliament rejected a request from Public Service to procure 7.2 billion shillings to procure luxurious vehicles for former leaders, including former Vice Presidents Gilbert Bukenya, Edward Chiwanuka Sekandi, and former Prime Minister Amama Mbabazi and Rukana Rugunda.
Something you have found necessary to provide some advice and guidance to the President, even if it is not really, even if we are making arguments of legality and morality. Does it bother you?
Legal team, maybe there will be a problem with the need to harmonize these laws, because as
of the president to table a list of 139 presidential advisors with their job description.
To those advisors above 75, but Chair, we find advisors of the president above 75 years.
He said there are those who are on a full-time basis and others are part-timers.
Economic Times, what ought to have been done? We speak to lawyer Patrick Katabazi.
The purpose for Social Security is to afford protection to a person in life so that a person is helped or is protected against vulnerabilities and risks that come through life. And pension is basically a vulnerability protection measure against old age. And social security doctrines envisage a scenario where a person who retires needs some money to be able to live through the next stage of life. So the ideal pension for a person should be adequate income to meet necessities. It should not be like a lottery. It should not be a lot of money, more than what somebody needs. So what we are seeing is a practice where an office bearer draws pension from more than one source. In my view, that ordinarily defeats the intention of Social Security.
Now, the movers of the Anti-Counterfeit Goods Bill 2023 have finalized the drafting of the long-awaited bill that seeks to address the issues related to counterfeiting of goods and services within the country. The MPs Asmani Basarirwa, Jonathan Odur and Oguzi Lee said the bill that will ensure brand protection will also bar both sellers and producers from selling expired goods and products.
In 2023, Parliament, under the stewardship of Speaker Anita Among, granted MPs Asman Basarirwa, Jonathan Odo and Oguzi Lee leave of Parliament to draft the anti-counterfeit bill. The first draft is now ready according to the movers of the bill, and regional consultations to enrich the bill are to be conducted before presenting it to the House for the second reading.
I want to confirm.
The bill, according to the movers, is aimed at addressing issues related to counterfeiting of goods and products.
You go to supermarket, you go to the pharmacies, you go everywhere, we find the counterfeit. Unfortunately, the counterfeit products pose potentially serious risks. So everything is not working in this country. We have literally become a country of bichupuli, and that cannot happen on our watch. So this is a piece of legislation that I'm very sure is going to impact every life in this country at all levels.
To MP Asman Basarirwa, once the bill is passed, it will make it difficult for a fake rebranded product to access the Ugandan market.
What we want to do is to also make it extremely difficult for a fake rebranded product to find its way on the Ugandan market. But also to protect brand owners. We are here to support government. We are here to support the business people. We are here to support all those who are in the country to ensure that what we consume is well with our soul, is well with our health.
The bill will also bar both the sellers and producers from selling expired goods or products.
Part of the law we want to make is to even make it criminal for example, a supermarket to continue displaying or putting on sale a product that has expired.
According to the movers, Uganda is the only country in East Africa without a law that regulates counterfeit products. It is estimated that 70% of the products on the Ugandan market are said to be fake.
Councillor Fred Mwema, who is passionate on this matter, believes that counterfeit goods and services are rampant on the market because of the ignorance of the population over matters these goods. Let's listen to more of him.
The way to go is to promote intellectual property, which means that if any of you comes up with a product, you register it and you produce it, somebody is not allowed to fake it or to steal it. There is no way we're going to attract investment. There is no way we're going to solve the problem of youth unemployment. There is no way we're going to boost agriculture. There is no way we're going to protect our health if we are dealing in fakes. As we speak, I think the counterfeits on the market account for more than 70–80% of the products that we have on the market. And this is an appeal to the counterfeiters themselves. The counterfeiters are also victims. If anyone out there is counterfeiting a cosmetic, he's also a victim.
In a bit, I'll be speaking to the chairperson of Public Service and Local Government, Martin Ojara Mapendusi, on this particular story that I'm about to bring to you. The officials from Wakiso local government have been faulted over the unutilized warrants amounting to 14.4 billion shillings. Part of the money was for the integrated transport infrastructure, agro-industrialization, human capital development, among others. The issue of 3.4 billion shillings was not warranted from the external assistance for the various programs, also generated a serious debate in the committee. The officials were appearing before the Local Government Accounts Committee to respond to queries raised in the Auditor General's report for the financial year 2022-2023.
Seek indulgence of your committee, Mr. Chair, that you give us, like you gave us 1 week, we bring a very clear report on this.
I don't think it really helps you. You see, how can you tell us, here, the members here, that you are looking on or no? I mean, what kind of explanation is that? These are all your documents. How can you only look on one and leave out the other?
I expected him to read what they provided to the Auditor General, and it's very clear here that non-utilization is majorly attributed to late release.
Most of our interest is based on issues of accountability, most especially the figures. Our main focus is on the monies, and it is the basis of the Auditor General's report.
That's what took place earlier in the committee, and now bring in the Honorable Martin Ojara Mapenduzi, the chairperson of Public Service and Local Government. Honorable, many thanks for joining us this evening. You've been a district leader before. What we want to understand is what brings about the issue of not utilizing money and it has to go back to the coffers?
Well, there are about 3 key areas. One is that, as you all know, last financial year, the Minister of Public Service put a ban on recruitment. And so a lot of times local government fail to utilize the funds that are given to them. And this majorly comes from the area of wage. When you don't recruit, you don't spend the money, and so the money has to get back to Treasury. So that has been an area where many local governments have failed to utilize the resources sent to them. And the solution is going to be giving the opportunity for local governments to carry out recruitment so that they have adequate staff and they're able to utilize that. But the second problem is in the area of project implementation. There are many programs that are being implemented at local government level, but there seems to be poor performance where, and I want to give the example of a program called YouGift, where many local governments struggle for much longer than the time the contract period is supposed to, run. And so a lot of times this money is returned to Treasury. And the third area comes in, when the Minister of Finance fails to release the funds timely. When you have money for projects, mega projects, and you wait until it's Q2 or 3 and the money is released, many local governments fail to absorb that. So that has been a major problem.
Okay,
so,
I've also had some complaints from the local government saying that it is the Ministry of Finance, that's where the problem begins.
Well, that used to be a big problem, but currently I want to commend the Ministry of Finance. There is a lot of improvement, and so it's the burden is going to shift to local governments. Local governments have to plan timely, and they need to make sure the projects are executed within the contractual time frame.
How do we deal with the problem? Local governments are still struggling with the same problem, and not just Wakiso, but also a number of them. So how do local governments, or how should they prepare to deal with the problem?
Well, what you need to know is that for the last financial years, every financial year, several billions of shillings get returned to Treasury. The solution is in releasing money timely. Minister of Finance needs to do it part. Secondly, local governments have to make sure their project implementation takes effect immediately the financial year begins. You don't need to wait until you have money, then you start the procurement process, because procurement processes are long. So the moment you have your programs that are approved, you know when you are supposed to do the procurement, when you are supposed to. So timeliness is very key. And the last one is for the Minister of Public Service to ensure that there is the ban on recruitment is lifted, but also local government have to plan and plan well so they can recruit their staff timely, and that will solve the problem.
Martin Ojara Mapenduzi, many thanks for speaking to us this evening. He's the chairperson of Public Service and Local Government Committee. Now, 2 days of voter registration in the ruling National Resistance Movement has seen ineligible members and non-citizens blocked from registration. Some election experts and politicians fear that the developments in NRM could have a spillover effect on the 2026 polls. Election expert Crispin Kaheru says the emerging issues in the NRM voter register update will have a trickle-down effect on the general elections. Now, these want the Electoral Commission to keep an eye on the issues that are manifesting during this exercise for better management of the 2026 elections.
Day 1 and 2 of the ruling NRM registration led to the discovery of members without national identity cards and non-citizens trying to get into the register. Election expert Crispin Kaheru says emerging issues in the NRM should not be taken lightly. They believe this is an early indicator that 2026 general elections will be equally characterized by similar challenges.
There are issues to do with some people not having national IDs, and that subsequently means that if they don't have national IDs, then they cannot actually update themselves or get onto the National Voters Register. Ultimately, when the Electoral Commission opens up the voter registration or update.
So our fear, and let it be on record now, that let it not be that there is a plan or a scheme to replace the National Voters Register with the NRM register. That would mean that the only people that get to vote are those that support NRM.
Theodore Sechkubo believes the NRM chairman Yoweri Museveni is to blame.
The moment we left all the powers to the chairman of the party, President Museveni, who chooses when, now that becomes a problem. I know you remember the Secretary General Todwong started cutting out his clothes way back. He started laying out his strategies way back. Dr. Tango Doi also started ratcheting his work at the Electoral Commission way back, together with his team. But because they are not facilitated, they are lame duck.
But the Electoral Commission insists what's happening in NRM will not have any spillover effects. And this is the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission, Paul Bukenya.
I think it is important that only eligible persons participate in electoral activities, including internal political party activities. Because remember, political parties are the ones that present candidates. So the candidates prepared or presented by political parties must fulfill the requirements of the law. At the same time, it is these supporters who support political parties. So it is important that political parties are supported by qualifying persons. There is no need to panic by members of the public. The electoral guidelines are very clear. We are going to update the National Voters Register. Persons who are not registered at this moment still have an opportunity to register and to participate in electoral activities that are coming. Our electoral roadmap is very clear. Today someone has turned 18. And tomorrow they would want to register for elections. So there's still a window for those persons who are citizens of Uganda and qualify to register to do so that they participate in elections. So there's no crisis.
More to come, brought to you by Regal Paints, even the walls like it. In association with
Castrol. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
Now, politicians are scrambling to secure political homes as the 2026 elections do approach. Question is, will they be on time? NBS Live at 9 takes a break.
Are you a consumer of telecommunications, broadcasting, postal, or any other communication service? Do you have complaints for proposals regarding communication service? Well, the World Consumer Rights Day is here, and the Uganda Communications Commission is coming to listen to your concerns. Look out for the UCC Consumer Help Camps in Chizinda and Rebi Corner markets, and any of our public awareness drives and activations in Barara, Shema, Kabohe, Mitoma, Bushenyi, Ishaka, Rampara, Isinjiro, and Ntungamo from the 11th to the 15th of March 2024 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For further information, call our toll-free line 0800 222 777. Uganda Communications Commission. Communications for all.
For half a kilo of beans, add 2 Royco cubes. Royco cubes for the tastiest beans.
March is the month of film magic as the Uganda Communications Commission brings you the regional film competition. Experience the excitement across Uganda. Northern region in Moroto from the 4th to the 8th of March. Eastern region in Jinja from the 11th to the 15th of March. Central region in Mityana from the 18th to the 22nd of March. Western region in Kasese from the 24th to the 27th of March. Come and watch some of the best films made by your very own creative minds on their way to stardom. Follow and support the different nominees as they battle for top honors in each regional film competition. The winners will walk away with prestigious awards and exciting prizes. The regional film competition is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission, increasing diversity of Ugandan content.
It is obvious that the rest to 2026 is on, and now some politicians are scrambling to find political homes in time for the election, some by switching homes, others by starting new political parties. But what do these changes imply for the aspirants, we ask?
With the political futures of prominent politicians hanging in balance, some have broken away from their original parties, while the talk of new parties in the making dominates corridors of power. But how feasible is this?
What would make the best scenario for democracy is if we have as many active political parties. There are so many parties which are there, but they are dormant, and they have been registered over the years, and they are doing nothing. But I would want us to have as many active political parties as possible.
You got to get signatures in nearly 100 districts, 2/3 of the country. That's not quite easy. And then when you start operation of a political party, you need to have a good team. You need to have an ideologically oriented team.
Moreover, other political analysts remain skeptical about the outcomes of parties formed under the current conditions, saying that they may not deliver Uhuru.
When you organize, you make President Museveni's job very, very easy to infiltrate you and, cause confusion within that organization. So chances are very high if, for instance, you form a political party today, by the time we shall reach in 2026, that party could be divided into two.
Commenting on the very same matter, renowned city lawyer and political analyst Wandero Gallo says the time may not be the best ally for anyone trying to start a political party, especially a new one in these current political times. Shall we listen in?
When the time is little, there are dangers. First of all, genuinely, you don't have the time. Secondly, there are dangers of you being fooled. Thirdly, and the most important, you do not have time to mobilize resources for the campaign. So at the end of the day, you find that you may take one route, you may decide now to concentrate on the presidential candidate at the expense of parliamentary seats. So really, I think that if you are looking, this is also important, if you are looking at the next general election to win it or to get a lot of support, I think the time left is too little for you to embark on that.
Now, the chairperson of the Kampala Roads Committee, Engineer Balimwezo Ronald, has asked KCCA not to give the SFC, Special Forces Command, more money until their contract for repair of city roads is made public to ease supervision. Balimwezo says the shoddy work done by the force in the 1.1 billion shillings so far is proof that it lacks experience for the job. But despite this, SFC prides in the work and only waiting for the remaining 1.9 billion shillings to finish its task in the city centre. Now, according to the agreed terms of operations in October 2023, SFC was granted a contract to repair and refill Kampala city roads in months. With some roads like Nakasera Cross, State House, Chiembelen and Rashid Khamis Road completely worked on, SFC spokesperson Major Jimmy Omara prides in their progress so far, with about 30 roads out of the 64 touched, with some pending completion due to financial constraints. We spoke to Engineer Barmwezo, who says that the force has exhibited shoddy work and professionalism.
Because of the issue surrounding the delays of releasing the funds, I think we last worked 2 to 3 months back. So the rest of the months we have been seated and waiting for these monies to be released so that we can really double up and have this completed. Because initially in our plans, these roads were supposed to be completed in between 3 to 4 months. But we have been receiving these monies in piecemeal. Raw materials are not readily available. We have to buy them. We expect the people who are supposed to give us this money to give us so that we complete these works. We would be very glad if we are given this money in totality, we complete this work, and that is the time when we can come out and say, judge us properly based on the cost that we had put forward, and we shall say this is what we had been given, we are now giving you accountability.
The districts of Moroto, Lira, Apache are enjoying a boost in their night economies thanks to the improved infrastructure and solar street lights funded by the USMID additional funding project. This has contributed to increased revenues for the respective local governments owing to the improved business environment and broadened avenues for taxation. Julius Kitone, our USMID expert, reports.
Once shrouded in darkness, Moroto has undergone a remarkable transformation, emerging as a beacon of progress for the Karamoja sub-region thanks to the impactful interventions of the USMID program. Local businesses report significant growth thanks to solar-lit streets that have improved both visibility and security.
It has helped us because of the Bayais who are breaking their houses. You see now, Bogaya is there, Irish is there, Skumauk is there, Kanyumrum is there, chips is there, chicken and chips. It has helped us, you see. Even the shops now, even the saloons.
The USMID delivered night economy not only benefits locals but also offers positive prospects for Moroto's revenue collectors.
Business is booming now. And when business is booming, council smiles all the way to the what? To the bank. We have a projection that this year we should be able to collect more than 700 million because of those interventions.
A similar transformation is evident in Lira City, the economic heart of Lango sub-region.
People are able to move safely and secure, knowing that the environment is lit. So they're able to do business as late as possible. So Lira being one of those centers where we have people transiting throughout, the lighting through the street lights help to boost businesses that can flourish in the night. So we think, again, that is something that USMID did for this urban setting.
This has in turn boosted the total local revenue collections in Lira City from 1.66 billion shillings in the financial year 2019-2020 to 2.65 billion shillings as of February 2024 this financial year. Prominent among these are local service tax that rose from 86.2 million to 258.6 million. Urban authority permit fees jumped from 15.7 million to 141.4 million. Street parking fees from 205.3 million to 231.8 million shillings, while property tax skyrocketed from 474,000 shillings to 360 million shillings within the same period. In a Park Municipal Council, Usmid's impact is felt through the development of hybrid road infrastructure, almost competing with national highway trunk roads in design.
When it came the implementation of Usmid, we did not have any problem of compensating people. There was enough land that was able to be provided for us to design very wonderful roads, the final product. And it speaks by itself. It is one of the best roads that you can actually conclude is like a runway in Entebbe, because there was enough land for us to design this road. And this is how every town should be.
The Usmid constructed roads boast a number of features, including underground utility ducts on each road, parking lanes, green islands, street lights, drainages, and pedestrian walkways, among others. Other facilities delivered by Usmid in a park include upgrading of Chengere and Chawente roads to paved standards and Biashara, Chibura and Republic Street to bituminous standard, totaling to 1.363 kilometers.
Now, away from Usmid, let's talk women's health and rights. And joining us is Lois Kwam, the CEO of Pathfinder, a global organization focused on advancing women's health and rights. Many thanks for joining us. How has your professional journey shaped your perspective on the themes in this book that you've recently published?
Well, I'm really delighted to launch my new book here in Kampala. My book, Who Runs the World? Unlocking the Talent and Inventiveness of the World's Women. The cover of the book is done by Ugandan painter Edison Mugalu. And I'm here because of the exciting work being done in Uganda to improve the health of women and girls. My own journey is I'm a Nalongo, I'm a mother of twins. And my experience, I talk in the book about my experience giving birth to my twins and some of the challenges that I had. And that's part of what has inspired me to write this book.
Well, I see that the message in that response is that girls can actually save the world. So what sort of actions can individuals or even organizations take to promote and empower women and girls? And by the way, as suggested in your book.
Well, one of the biggest things is to give the opportunity for teenagers and young women to finish their schooling, to grow up before they make the choice to become a mother. So the right timing and spacing of having children and having all of us be advocates for that is an important part of what the book advocates for.
Well, in today's world, where gender equality remains a pressing issue, how do you believe your book can actually go on and contribute to the ongoing conversations and efforts towards empowering women and girls?
Well, what I say in the book is that gender equality is not only good for women, it's good for everybody. Because we face so many challenges in the world, whether it's rising prices or the epidemics or health problems. And women and the talent and inventiveness women can bring to solving these problems helps us all.
And lastly, how do you hope readers will, what do you hope readers will take away from your book, Who Runs the World?
Well, first of all, I hope our readers will take away and celebrate the recent accomplishments in Ugandan health for women. The number of women who die in labor and delivery has dropped dramatically in Uganda these last years, but there is more work to do, and that work to do is really to help this generation of young women and teenagers. And that's what I hope people take from the book, is that to be ready to do that.
And very, very last, in just 30 seconds, what happens then now after, or what can we expect beyond just the launch of this book, Who Runs the World?
The book is to help us think about what we can do to support this next generation. We can make a lot of changes in one generation in the world if we're very focused, and that's what the book is about, is we can all do more. Let's all do more.
Many thanks for speaking to us, and NBS Live at 9 takes a break. We'll be back here in just a bit.
Our stories begin right here, and we never write them alone. Sometimes we write them with someone who puts our story first. Other times with someone who puts their own story first. There'll be pages we love to read again and again, and some we'll barely remember. Sometimes we feel like the hero of our story, and other times, not. There are stories of dreamers, stories of creators, stories of strivers, stories of believers, and we're inspired by them all. That's why we invite you to write your story with us. Your story matters.
The 7th Uganda Water and Environment Week will take place from the 18th to the 22nd of March 2024 under the theme Rethinking Collective Action and Innovative Solutions to Water, Environment and Climate Change Crisis in Uganda at the Ministry of Water and Environment Headquarters in Luzira, Kampala. As part of the week, key sector international days, that is the World Water Day, International Forestry Day and the World Meteorological Day are commemorated. Various events such as panel discussions, site events, paper presentations and exhibitions will be organized for the sustainable ecosystem and the development of Uganda by different stakeholders on water and environment issues. Uganda Water and Environment Week 2024 is organized by the Ministry of Water and Environment through the Water Resources Institute with support from development partners. The week will be opened by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Thomas Tayewa. For more information, visit our website at www.mwe.go.ug.
Special announcement. The Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, NRM, informs party members and the entire public that the membership registration exercise will run from Wednesday 13th to Sunday the 17th of March 2024. You are therefore requested to go to your branches or villages to participate in the display, update, and registration of your details. Those confirmed dead, left the area, or crossed to other political parties should be publicly deleted from the register, while the new residents and those who have come of age be added. Please note that every member must show up in person, and only registered individuals will participate in the internal party structure elections and party primaries.
My brother might be blind, but for him, football is not just about what we see, but what we feel.
Hello?
Boss, invoices haven't been paid.
Yeah?
We have no money and we can't make payroll.
Hello?
Mzee, we need a new cement mixer.
What?
Work has stopped.
Stay ahead in your business with Bank of Africa's contract financing solutions available at every stage of your contract. Visit the nearest branch or call our toll-free number 0800 100 140 to learn more. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner.
With the Caribbean nation in turmoil, we're talking Haiti. President William Ruto of Kenya has reaffirmed his commitment to join a UN multinational force going down to police the troubled island nation. Heidi Adams, our colleague from VOA, joins us. Heidi, let me ask, the more important question is, when do we expect boots on the ground? And two, if you may, very quickly, is what will this kind of multinational force achieve, if it may?
Good questions, Mika Samson. The situation in Haiti is making it very difficult for anyone to really guess what kind of success the Kenyans will have as they lead this multinational force. The Kenyan government itself seemed to have doubts earlier this week about whether this mission should go ahead. Now, President Ruto and Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry signed a security deal last week in the hopes of satisfying the Kenyan court's objection to sending police to the Caribbean nation. But after they signed that deal and Ariel Henry was found locked out of his own country, he was stuck in Puerto Rico and forced to resign. The Americans are saying to lead an international team, they're giving $300 million towards it. Problem is, there are 300 gangs in Haiti that have joined forces. They control about 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince. There is a dangerous power vacuum in the country. It's not sure who to engage in the country right now. Regional leaders have a plan. They say they're going to help Haiti form a transitional presidential council. This is all the Caribbean nations with the United States. They're going to help Haiti pick a new prime minister and put it on